Hello guys, welcome back today. We're going to be doing a ranking the NHL divisions 1 through 4. You got the Central, the Pacific, you got the Metro, and the Atlantic. So let's just get into it. Now, I know the last couple of videos have been in a different room, in a different house, and now I'm back here again, and maybe we'll do another video in the other house, because we're going from back and forth just because one day our house will be ready to come back, and then the other day we'll just have to move back to our grandparents' house. But it's really iffy on each day. It's really just random whenever we'll be in this place or the other place. That's enough of that. Let's go to our bottom division in the NHL, the Pacific Division. Starting at number 4, you got the Pacific Division at 249 games played. That's the most in the NHL out of all the 4 divisions, even behind the Atlantic. The Atlantic is number 3. They got 248 combined points, while the Pacific Division has 255. So the Pacific only has 5 or 7 more points than the Atlantic, and the Pacific has played 249 games, while the Atlantic has played 213 games. So the Pacific really is playing more than 30 games, and they're only 7 points ahead. That's pretty weak. So I put them at 4, even though they are technically ahead. I don't really care. It also doesn't help that you got teams like Arizona, who are just terrible, Edmonton, who are trash, Vancouver, who is starting to become trash. They've really been playing terrible these last couple of games. They've really missed Horvat and Berchi. Really missed those two. But they got some just terrible teams at the bottom of that division, and it's just starting to show. They just don't have the firepower, even though LA and Vegas are doing pretty well. They just don't have the depth in that division if you're going by divisions and not just like teams. At number 3, you got the Atlantic Division, who is basically, as I said, right behind the Pacific. They play 30 less games than the Pacific, and they're just 7 points below them, so they'll definitely get there when the games start getting played, and the teams start catching up together. I put them at number 3 just because I thought they were a better division to get points overall than the Pacific. The Pacific just hates getting points. But the Atlantic, they're a lot better in this department. They got Tampa Bay, they got Toronto, who are 2 firepowers in the league. Then you got Boston and Montreal, who are iffy. Boston is pretty decent. Then you got really some mediocre teams in there. You got Montreal, you got Detroit, Florida, Ottawa, and of course the terrible Buffalo Sabres. So you got some teams, but at least those teams are better than the Atlantics. And they got more firepower in front, at least on the Pacific side, compared to Atlantic. And they're just at number 3 just because I thought they were better. They just got some more firepower, 248 combined points. They're slotted at number 3. So what's going to be number 2? What's going to be number 1? Either the Metro or the Central. Who will be number 2? Which, once I say it, will obviously confirm number 1. Honestly, I think you guys are going to be surprised by this. Statistically at least, the Metro is going in at number 2. The Metro has 284 points combined all around their teams, with 247 games played. 2 behind the Pacific for the most in the NHL. They got Columbus, who are just great teams. They got some great teams in there: Columbus, Washington, New Jersey, New York Islanders, and the Rangers, Pittsburgh. Those are some great teams in there. You got Philadelphia and Carolina, who are middling teams, but they're still pretty decent. They're able to get lots of points in there. They're a very interesting division because they just keep rolling year after year. They just keep being the strongest division year after year. At the start of the season, there's thoughts that the Pacific might be better overall, but the Metro is just too good, man. It's just too good. They just got way too many good teams in there, and even Carolina being decent definitely helps the division after being in the bottom, in the basement, the past couple of seasons. And Philadelphia still being decent. I thought after that 10-game losing streak they would keep going down, but they've been on a winning streak now, and that's just a lightning bolt for the fans. It's just like they're like a streaky team. Of course, you got Columbus and Washington, who are just firepowers in the conference, and then you got New Jersey, who just keeps on rolling. And there's just some solid teams in there, and they'll just keep rolling. I think that they'll be a strong division for years to come. I don't see them stopping anytime soon. And it definitely helps that they still got some young teams in there that are even rising right now. So they got some fantastic depth in there, and they're probably the most solid probably the most solid. Like, any of those teams could beat you. Besides like the Atlantic, who has like the Buffalo Sabres, who you could beat. But definitely all of those teams could beat you on any night in the Metro, and they're just a solid division. Overall, I think that they might be better than the Central, but the statistics so far don't really show it. At number 1, you got the Central Division, the home of my favorite team, the Stars, but nevertheless, they're still the best division in the NHL. I'm not biased here just because the Stars are in that. The Central is just fantastic. 216 games played. They got 302 combined points. 30 less games and 31 less games than the Metro, and they got almost a 20-point lead on them. I think I'd say they're the better division, at least right now. They played number 1. They deserve number 1 in the division, at least this season. They're really, really strong. Any team in that division could make the playoffs at the end of the season. Even Colorado still has a chance, and they got a good chance, and they've been playing decently. They got St. Louis, who's just fantastic this season. Even after losing a couple of guys, they're still going to play great. Nashville, who is Nashville. They're fantastic in every facet of the game. Winnipeg, who's played fantastic in goaltending. Surprisingly, on the offense, has been fantastic for them. Dallas, who has defensive issues, but they played decently the past couple of games, and the offense is the offense. Minnesota, who has been a bit injured at the start of the season, but they're kind of roaring back here. Dubnyk coming out for a couple of weeks now is going to hurt them a little bit, but they'll keep going. Chicago, who just has there's the Chicago Blackhawks. What's more could I really say there? And you got the Avalanche, who are coming off a record and terrible season, but they're playing decently somehow, and it's really fun to watch. Just almost all these teams in the conference, or in the division, they're all playing well. And even Colorado could skip out a playoff spot. I don't see the Pacific taking any of them, but it's a very, very close race. The Stars are only 2 points ahead for that first wildcard spot, and I think there's 4 teams that are 35 points, something like that, in the Western Conference, and the Central's holding on to, I think, 2 of them, maybe even 3. I think it was 2, because you got the Sharks and you got the Flames at 35 in the Pacific, but that's just a strong division overall. And again, same with the Metro. All those teams could beat you at any night, and it really comes down to who's played more games and who's gotten the most points, and the Central has gotten both of those in their favor of the Central. More points and even less games to show for it. So they're really impressive on that standpoint, and they'll just keep on rolling in their fantastic division. Of course, this is only about halfway through the season, so it could change, definitely. The Central, a lot of teams could go on a slump. Who knows what happens? Colorado could fall down to the bottom of the Central, or even the bottom of the conference. A lot of things could happen. A lot of things can still happen, but almost halfway through the season, I'd say the Central is the best division. Even on statistics, you can't argue on that. So 1 through 4, got some strong divisions in there. Central, Metro, even arguably the Atlantic, but it just comes down to the Metro and the Central just squeaks out a win there. So comment down below your opinion on your not your favorite division, but you think who's the best in all the NHL. Even if I can't really be biased because the stats really do show that the Central is the best division, but whatever you think is the best division, I mean, whatever you want. If you got the Metro or the Central, you might have a bit of a problem if you think that the Pacific is the best division. You might have a bit of a problem there. I wouldn't judge you for it, but I think you would be a little bit wrong on the head, But whatever you want, just comment down below what you think is the better division, the Central or Metro. But honestly, I don't think we can really argue for the Metro. I think that the Central has it. That's going to be it for today, guys. You guys did enjoy. Make sure to like, guys, really enjoy. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.